day. Today I'm going to talk about public speaking. And when you think about public speaking, there's always that butterfly in your stomach. Perhaps, because of the so-called glossophobia. Glossophobia is the fear or the stage fright, fear of public speaking. And, you are not alone, no? When you are feeling that way of being so afraid to face the crowd, because the Americans themselves, who are very independent and very frank, do you know that their number one fear, according to the 2014 survey or research, is the public speaking as well. Second is their fear of snakes. But as years go by, of course, research changes, no? This 2021, I found out that their number one fear is fear of death. And of course, a lot of people are afraid of dying. Okay, but let's not talk about that. Let's go back to public speaking. So, how do you counter that stage fright? Number one is, of course, to be positive in your thoughts, in your ideas, in your thinking, no? So we have to think about the positive things that would happen instead of the negative. So I'll be sharing with you some tips on how to prepare for that big event in your life, which is public speaking. Number one is to begin with the end in mind. So probably you're familiar with the quotation. It's from the 7 Habits of Successful People by Stephen Covey. Okay, and it says that even before you begin, you should have that thinking of being successful. So meaning, okay, you are already envisioning that you are delivering a good and successful speech. And whatever is that in your mind, so usually it can happen. Believe and you can achieve it. Alright, so second is you should, of course, master your speech. So master of the subject matter. You cannot give what you don't have, but you can prepare, no? Okay, prior to your speech, okay? And you can master your speech. How? By studying your subject matter. Or even though, let's say, you know already the idea, but you have to research further because every day there is a new finding, or there is a new idea. So what you can do is to further study, okay, that particular subject matter that is assigned to you. So by the time that you are already delivering your speech or talking about your speech, you are already very good, okay, in your discussion. So nobody can doubt, okay, what you are talking about because you are very much prepared on that. So when they rate you, okay, with regards to the subject matter or the mastery of your speech, so they will be giving you 5 out of 5. Okay, third is, of course, you have to outline your speech. So how do you do that? Okay, so remember that there are 3 parts of your speech, and the first is your introduction. So the introduction, you have to start with, let's say, a question form, a quotation, a definition, an analogy, or even a striking statement, all right, or a statistic, no? Okay, so let's start with the question form. So if you're going to ask your audience, okay, about something which is related, of course, to your topic, so they will be curious about what you have mentioned, and they will be asking themselves, yeah, really, no, what is it all about? And probably, okay, they can also give their own answers. Okay, so whether they will raise their hands, okay, and tell that to you, or they will answer it with themselves. Okay, second is quotation. So, whenever we have the quotation that we are reading, okay, or whenever we see a quotation, we can actually relate to that, right? That's why quotations are very popular because you can actually relate to that idea. So you can relate yourself, okay, or your life to what has been mentioned by a popular people usually. All right. So what else? Okay, statistic, no? So we're always wondering, okay, so with the number, okay, of the statistics, okay, that are being mentioned. So obviously, okay, if you have heard or if you have read a certain statistic, so what's in your mind is that you will be surprised. Okay, so why, how come it's a big number or it's a small one? Okay, so for example, the number of those people who have died in COVID-19. So of course, people would be curious, yeah, really, how many or how much percentage we have already, especially these days, no? So even though we have already the so-called vaccine, but the sad news is we have several variants already of this COVID-19 virus. Okay, so what else? You can also start with an analogy. Analogy is a comparison. You're comparing two things, but they have similarities. Okay, so like for example, the ants and the Filipino people. So with regards to being industrious, okay, so look at the ants. Okay, so during the summertime, they would usually preserve foods, okay, because during the rainy season, so it's their time to eat these things, no? So just like us, we keep on working and working as long as we have the work so far, so that when there is, let's say a stoppage in our work, so we can have something to look forward to. Okay, we can also start with a striking statement like all people die. So all people die. So although we know it, but it's a realization, no? Yes, no. So especially those rich people, they will think, yes, one of these days, okay, so I'll be facing the Creator, and what will happen to these things, okay, that I have right now. So that striking statement is really a big bang, okay, on your introduction. Okay, another thing to start with is a definition. So especially if you are tackling about a technical matter. So this technical thing should be explained, no? Should be defined by you. So your audience would have a grasp of what you are talking about. Okay? So those are the ways, okay, in order for you to start your speech. And whatever you have said in your introduction, you just have to expound on it. Okay, so for example, if you mentioned the quotation, blood is thicker than water, so discuss about some family things, perhaps not so far, no, from your topic. Okay, so don't say that blood is thicker than water and then your topic is about environment, unless, okay, so you can connect, okay, your topic with the quotation, no, that you have mentioned. All right, so develop this in your body and finally conclude, okay, with a good ending. Okay, so same thing, you can conclude with a quotation, with a striking statement, and yeah, a summary of what you have mentioned, and give emphasis, okay, on the idea that you would like to point out. Okay, so that's outlining. So what else? Prepare. Okay, so before your speech, you have to prepare. Okay, so make sure that before you face your audience, from the attire that you're going to wear, Okay, the time of waking up. Okay, so the time that you have to be there. Okay, so early, of course, 15 to 30 minutes earlier. Okay, prior to your talks. Some speakers, they would be there an hour. Okay, so to check on everything, the venue, okay, the sound system. Okay, and they would like to face the audience first to mingle with them, so they will be more comfortable in delivering the speech because they are familiar with their audience. Okay, and then practice, no? So the night or a week, okay, prior to your speech, so practice it. You can ask your mom, your dad, okay, or the members of the family to sit with you as you deliver your speech, okay, or look or and listen to your speech and ask them, so what improvements, no, you can still have, okay, in order for you to have a good delivery of your speech. All right. Okay, and of course, the last one is anticipate possible questions from your audience, because in this way, okay, so you would be ready, very much ready about what would be the possible questions that they will be asking. Okay, and you have your ready answer. So anticipate meaning, so think ahead, okay, what would be the possible questions related to, okay, the talk that you have delivered. So in that way, you will be very much ready to face your audience. All right, so those are the tips that I have, okay, in order for you to be successful in the delivery of your talk. So the next day that you face the audience, wow, okay, so it's an impressive talk from you. Hooray, okay, congratulations. Thank you so much for listening to this vlog.